channel. Excuse my short hair. In case you didn't know, I wear tape and extensions, and it's time to take them out and redo my roots. So right now I have my regular length hair in. But today, if you clicked on this video, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about the most painful piercings that I have had. But before we get into that, I have to talk about today's sponsor. So Body4You sent me some really adorable belly rings for Halloween. They sent me a cute little coffin one, and then they sent me a silver skeleton guy, or sorry, he's a black skeleton guy. And then they also sent me a little green skeleton guy. And they are so cute. And I'm actually wearing the little coffin one right now. And they also sent me their aftercare piercing solution, which is pretty much sea salt spray. So the ingredients are purified water, dried sea salt, Mediterranean sea salt, tea tree oil, rosemary oil, aloe vera, and vitamin E. So this is what the packaging looks like. Excuse the rip top. I already tore this open and I've been using this because if you've had piercings, you know that sometimes after a while they can get a little gross, or like sometimes like they might get irritated, and this stuff helps so much, let me tell you. So this is what it looks like. It's just aftercare piercing solution. You can use it after you get pierced. You can use it if you have piercings still. If they're irritated at all, this will take away the sea salt in it. It helps it reduce the swelling of the area, and it helps it be a lot more comfortable. Just in general, whether it be your ears or your belly ring or your nose ring, anything. This will help you. I have used this already quite a few times. But with this, it's super important for aftercare as well. So if you don't have your belly ring pierced yet, or I think belly rings take like 6 months to heal or something, this is perfect because all you have to do before you change your jewelry, take the part that's going to go through, spray it on there, let it sit for a minute or two, and slide it right on in. And it goes in seamlessly. It helps with any swelling or irritation that you might have. And this works for all piercings. So like, for example, I used it on piercings that were not my belly ring the other day. And within a second of using it, it didn't hurt anymore. Like, and it makes it so much easier to clean it, and it keeps your piercing healthy and heal correctly, and so you won't have any kind of issues. And I believe it's an all vegan product. I mean, it's just oils and sea salt, so it's an all vegan product. It's not branded like that, but I'm just gonna say safely that it is plant-based. But it's safe for every single piercing on your body. So this stuff is a lifesaver if you have piercings, like for real. Like I cannot even express how many times I've used sea salt sprays. This one is by far the best, the easiest to use. You just spray it on, or you can even soak your piercing in it. Like if you have an earring, you can even like spray a little bit in like a little like cup or whatever, and just let your earring sit in there for a few minutes, take it out, pop it right back in. You don't have to clean them after you use this. This is pretty much like a source of cleaning in a sense. Like if you have a fresh piercing, of course you need to clean it, but after you clean it, apply this and then just move the bar a little bit back and forth. And it should take care of like almost all of the swelling and the irritation, and it is wonderful. So let's get into the belly rings now. So they're actually super well made, which I'm really happy about. So the little skeleton guys, they have their little face up here, and then actually all of their joints like move. So like he can like dance. And they have a bunch of other like super adorable belly rings and jewelry on their website. So it's Body4You, and I highly recommend you go to their website and check them out. They have amazing jewelry. I have very sensitive skin, and I get really bad allergic reactions to jewelry sometimes, and I have never had an issue. I haven't had an issue with any of these belly rings. They are made from a great quality material, and they all come in this cute little packaging. So they are individually packed, and then once you take it out, you just want to spray it down with the sea salt, wait a minute or two, and then pop it in, and you're good to go. So now let's get into my most painful piercings. So I have had a lot of piercings in my life. I used to have 4 in my lip, 1 on each side of my nose. My septum was stretched to a 6 gauge. I had my bridge pierced, and I have, these used to be 1 inch, now they are 5/8, and I have second holes here that used to be stretched to a 2 that are now just a 20 gauge or a regular earring size. I have my belly pierced, and recently, a few months back, I got my nipples pierced. Fun story with that one for a different day. But so nipple piercings especially take a long time to heal, so that's what I use this on, because they're always irritated, like out of nowhere. So I use this on my nipple piercings, and it really helps. So that's why I like this product. Is absolutely amazing. And if you have piercings, even if they're not sore, I highly recommend you have this in your arsenal just in case they do get sore one day. So those are the piercings that I have had throughout my life. Currently, I have a 18 gauge septum. You can't even see it because I have a tiny ring. It's right there. And I have a 20 gauge hoop in my nose and my belly, and then my ears and my nipples. So that's all I have pierced right now. But back in the day, I did have a lot of piercings. So from the piercings I've gotten, I also had a double tongue piercing. So I had 1 on each side of my tongue, and I ended up taking them out because my gums are really bad on the backside, and they started wearing down the gums on my backside. Not my backside, the backside of my gums. So I ended up taking those out, even though I really liked them. But occasionally they would like get stuck between, because I had 4. I had 2 on each side lip rings. So like they would get stuck in here when I was chewing, or like they would like get stuck over my teeth, and it was just like really uncomfortable. I had those for a while, but I eventually ended up taking them out. And I got the double side just because I liked how it looked. I thought it looked cool. But out of all of my piercings, I would definitely have to say the most painful was probably my tongue, honestly, because this in the middle here, that's a sweet spot. That's a safe spot to pierce because there's less flesh, less nerves here in the center. The side is all muscle, 100% muscle, and it's thick, it's thick. So I got them done on the same day. So there was a lot of blood. My tongue was swollen for like the next 2 weeks after, and I could barely talk, eat, or drink anything. So it was an absolute nightmare. There is a stigma around having your nipples pierced. And that, well, I mean, there could be multiple stigmas, but the specific stigma I'm talking about is that they are extremely painful. And you may have heard horror stories from people if you've ever looked it up or been interested in getting yours pierced. Or like people might think you're a slut for having them. Like there's all different kinds of stigmas that come with them, but honestly, like you can't even know you have them unless like you're wearing like really big jewelry and you have really big boobs and you have a really tight shirt on with no bra. I was not graced in the upper region, so I had very small boobs. So I actually bought bigger balls for my nipple bars. So I'm wearing those now, and even then, they're barely noticeable. So, and I never wore bras because I don't need to. So you have probably heard horror stories about people getting their nipples pierced. I myself was afraid to get them done, even though I wanted them done, because I had heard so many horror stories of it. One person said that they threw up. Another person said they passed out. Another person said that they felt like they were going to die, so they only got one done. It didn't hurt. It hurt like a piercing, like any piercing you're going to get is going to hurt, whether that be your ears or your nose or your belly ring. Like they hurt. It is a needle going through your skin. And it creates an open wound there, which this comes in extremely handy when you have an open wound you need to heal, let me tell you. But there were all these people who beforehand, for like years and years and years, I spoke to many people about it, and they all had like horror stories of people who had them done, like terrifying horror stories. So I never got mine done. And then my friend texted me one day randomly, and she's like, I want to get my nipples pierced. And it was like kind of out of character for her. And I'm like, okay, I'll come with you. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, can she pierce us both? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I showed up at the shop and got them done. And that was pretty much it. I didn't have any problems afterwards. I didn't have any swelling. My friend did have swelling and like some pain and irritation, but her boobs are significantly bigger than mine. So if you have bigger boobs, maybe it hurts more. But for me personally, the nipple piercings were not the most painful. So ignore all the horror stories you've had about getting your nipples pierced. I've also heard that guys' nipples are more sensitive, so maybe guys have a different reaction than girls, but I've only asked girls because like it's weird to ask a guy if he has his nipples pierced. Like, I don't care. I don't want to ask you about that. But if it's a girl, it's fine. And it's the same thing with me. If like a guy asked me about mine, I would be like, excuse me? But like if a girl asked me about it, I would be like, oh, okay, girl, I got you. I know. It's just something that's like, it's just weird. Anyways, ignore the horror stories you've heard about nipple piercings. I can confirm, because I have mine done, that they are not that painful, and they are definitely not as painful as people make it out to be. And if you do get them done, your anxiety and the anticipation of getting it done will be so much worse than the actual piercing itself. It hurts for literally a second. But that 1 second that it hurts really bad, but then it instantly goes away with every piercing. So my tongue was definitely the most painful piercing I've had. Also, lip piercings are pretty painful. That's like not a commonly talked about thing, but like my lip piercings, all of them hurt, and I had 4 of them. So those hurt. My nose hurt. My septum did not hurt. So my least painful piercings were definitely my septum and my belly ring. Like my ears hurt more than my septum and my belly ring. But that is because when you get your septum pierced, there is a certain thing that piercers call a sweet spot, which is if you have a certain structured nose, there is a small area between the cartilage in your nose and the bottom of your nose. And if they hit that sweet spot, it goes through a very thin layer of flesh and it doesn't hurt. However, if you do not have that, or you have a very inexperienced piercer who cannot find that, it will be one of the most painful piercings of your life, because they will be going through straight cartilage, which is why I have never gotten like my industrial or anything done, just because I'm afraid of the pain. Like I can get tattooed all day, but when it comes to piercings, like I'd rather sit and like live out the long burn than get an instant like painful thing in my body, if you know what I mean. Like, so after I took out all my piercings, because I'm just like, I'm not really feeling them anymore. Like, it's difficult to put on my makeup. Like, I always have to make sure they all match on my face. And so I ended up taking a lot of them out. My nose ring, actually, here I took out probably 3 to 4 years ago. And recently it was still open, besides the scar tissue underneath. Sorry if you're squeamish. The scar tissue underneath. So I literally took a sewing pin. Do not recommend doing this. Don't do this. And I just kind of pushed it through, and then I put the ring in. But it was fine. I just had to, like, you know how sometimes your ears, if you don't wear earrings for a while, they'll close a little bit and you just got to poke through that skin. That's pretty much what this side was. This side, however, healed completely. So I would have to get that re-pierced if I ever wanted it re-pierced, but I'm good with just the one for now. And I'm good with my little septum here that people can't really see, because if I wear stylized septums, a lot of the time they hit my upper lip. And like I can go like this, and like I can even touch my septum doing that now, but it's like they hang really low, because like this isn't pierced up super high in my nose, I guess, or maybe I just have like a small lip to nose ratio, but like the standard size septums, like the clickers and stuff, are generally like really massive on me. I love them though. Like I have a lot of them, and I think that they're really fun. But I like matching all my jewelry. So the most painful piercing was my tongue. Definitely my tongue. My double tongue piercing was the most painful. And my least painful was probably my belly ring, which is great, because if you want to get your belly pierced, it's not painful, and then you can go on Body For You and buy a bunch of these really cute belly rings they have. They're so adorable. They have such a great selection there, guys. Like, seriously, like, if you have piercings, check them out because they have all kinds of fun jewelry. And definitely get the sea salt spray. I'm telling you, you're gonna want this. So that's all from me in this video. Sorry it's a little bit shorter. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Just some last minute news. I have reopened my shop on Etsy as well as Shopify. So if you go to links in my bio or my link tree or my Instagram, if you go to the link in bio there, or my Facebook, you'll be able to shop on my Shopify. I have a lot more products on my Shopify than I do on my Etsy. So I have like new sweatshirts, new t-shirts, like new kinds of fun merchandise, custom made Harley Quinn prayer candles I made myself if you want to worship our Lord and Savior Harley Quinn. So I did reopen my shop. It is up, so it's ready for you guys. I will also put a link below of this video. I will put a link for the body jewelry, the spray, the website that it's from, and the links for my shops and also all my social media will be down below. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments what your most painful piercing was. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!